Hello and welcome back to the video. Now in today's video we're taking a look at the Top Fin 20-gallon starter kit from PetSmart. There's a couple of different brands that make these, and I believe this is exclusive to PetSmart, but you have Aqueon at Petco, you have AquaClear at Walmart, you have Marineland, which you can find at most major stores, and then you also have Tetra. So these are going to be your main companies if you're going to be buying any of like these starter kits, unless you're in an area where you just find some weird brand that I've never heard of. If you do, leave me those in the comments down below. If it's affordable, I might buy it for science. But this one comes with an H100 heater, a PF20 filter with a PFL style cartridge, and then obviously all the goodies you see right here: the net, the AquaSafe, a testing bottle. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, and then the lid and light combo. So before we go any further, if you are brand new to the fish keeping hobby and you think this is all you're going to need for the rest of it, you are sorely mistaken, because there's a few things that you're going to need to buy to make sure your tank stays healthy. The first one is going to be a testing kit. If you do not have one of these, you should not own any aquatic animals. And I know some people are going to be like, Reed, that is super mean. No. You must test your water. And the reason I say that is, you probably had a goldfish, or you probably had a beta, it lasted a month, and then it died. And then your mom got really sad that your fish died, and she bought you another one, and it died instantly. So then you just threw the tank away entirely. This is why your fish probably died. You didn't test your water. So you need to test your water. I don't care what anybody says. You either need to buy this or the master kit or something similar. Now, I know that sounds really mean, but this is going to keep your fish happy, and they're going to keep them healthy. Especially if you're buying a susceptible fish, like, say, a bala shark. If you go to the store and you see a bala shark, you're like, that's so cool. They are super susceptible to water, and you need to make sure you care for them. That is something you need. The next thing on the list is going to be Stress Coat Plus. I swear by this stuff. I have like 4 bottles in the house. Like, if I could probably bring in a binder full of receipts at this point of that stuff, because I buy a lot of it because I have a lot of tanks and I use it a lot. The next thing is going to be the Stress Zyme Plus. This is going to be your beneficial bacteria and stuff like that. However, I have another example right here from Tetra. This is going to be your cleaning bacteria at Walmart. You can buy this for about $5 US, give or take. And then the last thing, if you're not doing plants or snails, and you want to make sure that you don't get any major diseases at the start of a cycle, because you can get itch and stuff like that in the future if you're not careful. Aquarium salt. This is going to decrease the potential of getting some sort of a disease in your tank. And again, if you're not using plants or snails, this is just good to have in your tank in general. Any one of my tanks that are not running snails or plants, I do have a little bit, because it will actually tell you how much you need. This one, for example, is 5. For every 5 gallons, you got to use about 1 rounded tablespoon, and then for 1 gallon, you use a half teaspoon. So it'll actually tell you what you need. Now, as for the AquaSafe stuff, this is only good for one use. If you have chlorine in your water, it doesn't matter that you use this at the start. You can literally kill your fish by adding a cup of water to it. I've seen that in bala sharks, where someone literally, a little cup of tap water in a 40-gallon tank, pours the water in, and the bala shark dies. Because chlorine can kill your fish, and again, some fish are just super susceptible to that. So you really need to be adding that stuff every single time, and that's why I do with every single cup, because I actually have one of these Tropicana's. I have like 2 of these that are just dedicated to fish. So every time I add water to that, I will pour some Stress Coat into it. I know some people are going to say that is too much, or some people are going to say that's too little. I do it anyways because I'm not going to risk it, because I have so much chlorine in the water in my area. I'm not taking that risk. So I'm just going to fill it up, pour some in there, and call it a day, because that guarantees that my water is going to be safe when I pour it into the tank. As for the net is going to be good enough for most fish you're going to be using. And in this case, I'm not really using it because I got snails in here, so it's not really that big of an issue. As for this test vial, this is, I'm going to assume, targeted at people that don't want to buy one, which again, like I said, if you don't have a testing kit, you should not own anything. I'm going to assume this so you can kind of dip it in and take the water to your local store. I'm going to assume that's what that's for, because other than that, you should just be able to just dip the thing in the water. I think that's dumb. They shouldn't have included that. I think they should have included a little bottle of test strips, or included like 1 or 2 of them. As for this, again, this is good for maybe 1 use, but as you see, I didn't use it. I am not going to trust what's in my water. I'm just going to use my Stress Coat Plus, because I know that stuff works, and I've never had issues with it. However, what I do with these is after a certain point, like on my big 40, I will use this for my 40-gallon tank because I have no issues with it. But again, do your research on your water. I just use this when I'm adding extra water to my tanks and not when I'm starting out a tank. This foam piece comes with your filter. This is for your filters that do not, or for your tanks that don't have they're like, what am I thinking of? Like frameless. I don't know what it's for. Don't quote me on this, but I don't even know what this is for. It says on the instructions it's for frameless. I just stuck it to the back of my tank and worked just fine. As for the heater, I'm not using it on this tank because my snails are currently recovering from a acidic tank that they were in. Someone in my group basically said, hey, I'm getting rid of some snails. And they were in a super acidic tank. And some of their shells, while they're not cracked all the way through, they are not looking healthy. So there's one or two in here that I've been watching and monitoring. They seem to be doing better. I have a bunch of wonder shells in here. The water's at 68 degrees. They seem to be doing perfectly fine now. In fact, again, there's a clutch right here on the tank lid, so something's going right in here. As for the filter itself, we're using the PFL, and this is for 10 to 20s. They do make bigger ones if you're going to be running this on a bigger tank. Eventually, I'll be doing a comparison between the Penguin 350 and this one. I know the Penguin 350 is designed for up to 75. However, I was running it in a 40, no problem. But that filter has its own issues, and they're not perfect. However, if you're just starting out, these are really good filters because they're just easy to maintain. There's nothing that can really go wrong with them other than not changing your cartridge. Which we should speak about changing your cartridge and doing all sorts of stuff on top. So let me unplug you and bring you on the go. Going over here, we have our door to drop food in there. The light switch is right there, so you can turn off the light. As for the filter itself, we have a way to actually turn down how much water is going in. Right now I have it on one of the lower settings in there. I don't know if you guys can see. Actually right up there is the snail clutch, which is super cool. So I have it on kind of one of the lower settings, so it's not really disturbing the plants that are up top. But we are going to take this off real quick. This is an indicator if you need to change your filter right here. So if you need to change it, it's going to be red. Let's see if I can show it right here. Red if you need to change your filter, which you should be doing pretty regularly anyways. If you're buying one of these, you should be making sure you check your tank so it's not all getting all weird inside. And then inside here, again, we have the actual filter cartridge and then basically kind of like a mini sponge that takes all that big stuff out. Here's your net. Again, nothing really to write home about. So the question is to buy or not to buy. Absolutely, I recommend if you can find this for a sale of $60 US, buy it. That's such a good deal. And even if you don't use the heater or the filter, sell them both and make your money back, and boom, you got yourself a 20-gallon tank, you know, with a light and lid combo for basically nothing because you sold all that stuff. Now, something to note on, some people are like, should I just piece together my own aquarium? There's pros and cons to that. One, do your research on what filter you're buying and make sure it is a reputable filter. And also, look at the used marketplace because you'll see a lot of filters and a lot of heaters. So my local pet store, obviously, it's a mom and pop's. They do sell used stuff. So they'll sell used tanks, they'll sell used heaters, and they'll sell used filters. Now they clean them and all that stuff to make sure they're not all weird looking and stuff. But it is good to know that you can buy that stuff for used and for cheap. That 10 to 20 gallon heater is like $30 US. I can go to my local mom and pops and pick up a 40-gallon heater, like an Eheim, for $20 US. And I think I'm actually going to go buy a couple in the next couple weeks for some other projects that are coming up soon. But you should take a look into that, guys, if you're going to be building your tank from scratch rather than buying a starter kit. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. You're going to see a lot more aquatic stuff on this channel because I'm super into it these days. And I think it's one of my favorite hobbies that I've been up to. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the video. Hope you guys have a nice day.